And we're supposed to be saying their names out loud as we put the wreaths on there.
Well, this is J.W. Roberts.
And how long was he in service?
Well, he retired. He spent 20-some years
Okay.
in the military, and he served in Vietnam. But now, Miss Rita, her husband, Jerry Roberts, served in Vietnam.
Are you Rita?
And
You're Rita. I have looked at this. I have looked at this tombstone so many. I walk in the cemetery. I mean, I haven't in a couple of weeks because it's been cold, but it's been actually since the week of Thanksgiving that I have been walking because I don't like to walk in cold weather. But I walk 15 to 20 miles a week in the cemetery when it's not so cold, and I always have admired this tombstone. So you're Rita.
Yes, I am. And what's your name?
Ruthie Howard.
Yes, you live here in Cerulean.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, who is it? The family you're related to?
Well, we're transplants. I'm not native to Cadiz or Cerulean or Trigg County. I grew up in Hopkinsville. I was raised in Hopkinsville. Graduated from Hopkinsville High School in 1996. I've lived in Cerulean for 21 years.
Well,
Jerry was a helicopter pilot during the Vietnam War.
Yes.
And he got shot down and was killed in Vietnam.
Wasn't there a newspaper article? There was a newspaper article.
There was.
Oh wow! I never knew I'd get a chance to meet you. I've looked at your picture so many times. That is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And he was so young.
Yes, 24, 25. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow! And how long had y'all been married?
3 years.
You were
He was married on our 3rd anniversary, actually.
He was buried on your 3rd anniversary.
He had 2 children. A little girl, my neighbor Marty, that lives out. I'm Donnie Pogue. I live out in the White House.
Okay.
Okay, and I ended up getting the Roberts' farm. Bought it years ago. But Miss Marty was,
She was 15 months old, and Jerry Vance was 10 days old. He'd just been born. But he did know about that it was son.
So you were pregnant when your husband was killed?
No, I had just given birth to our 2nd child.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
And they're just 15 months apart. These 2 babies. Oh, I had 2 little babies, you know.
So So your youngest was 10 days old when this happened?
Yeah, I hadn't been home from the hospital very long, but he did know about it. He'd gotten the word, and he did know that we decided to name him Jerry. It just changed my mind. I was going to name him Kevin, and then my sister said, "I think you ought to name him Jerry Vance. He's not Junior, but at least we still have a Jerry."
And you did that 10 days before.
Yeah, before I did decide to do that just before the baby was born.
Really?
So, yeah, I have my sister to thank for that.
So am I understanding it correctly? I want to make sure for the record. You were going to name your son Kevin. And but then you decided to have a Jerry Jr. And then 10 days later, your husband passed away.
After the baby was born.
Oh, wow.
They said he was giving out cigars, you know, after he'd gotten the word.
Oh, wow. Now, so he was, do I understand that correctly? He was shot out of the sky?
No.
No?
No.
Or what's the story? Please,
Well,
if you don't mind.
They were bringing in a bunch of troops to let him out, you know. And he was flying in a formation of about 20 or 30 helicopters in the lead ship, you know, in that flight of helicopters. And just as they were touching down, the helicopter was hit and immobilized. And so, but he was touching down. It wasn't a crash, but they were able to evacuate, and they were heading for the safety of a ditch. You know, the pilot, Jerry was there was a pilot and Jerry was the co-pilot, 2 pilots, and then there was the crew members that was killed too. But they were going for a ditch for safety, and Jerry had gotten there, and he looked back and he saw that the pilot had been shot, and he went back to get him and help him, and then he was shot too by ground fire, small arms fire.
Oh wow! So did the pilot? Was he able to save the pilot, or they both
died.
They both died.
We have kept in touch with. There was a reunion, and just miraculously, all these people have met. You know, it's been many years later, but that pilot, his family lived in Wisconsin, so we have met that family and exchanged quite a lot of information.
Wow!
And they're good people.
Wow. And so he was passing out cigars.
Yeah.
When he found out he had a little boy.
Right.
Okay. And your daughter was 15 months older?
Right.
Okay. Wow. And this is just such a beautiful. I have always looked at this picture every time when I'm walking this hill, because I walk all these 5 times around is a mile. Did you know that? 5 times around this whole cemetery, even on the older part, not this halfway mark, but 5 times around the whole cemetery is a mile. So if I walk 20 laps, that's 4 miles. So your husband had passed away on the 5th of July.
Right. And of course, it took a week to get his body back to the United States. Mr. Roberts was kind of bitter about that. He said then get him over there in 24 hours. But it took a week, to get the body back. And then after we had the visitation at the funeral the night before, the day before, then the burial was on the day of our anniversary.
And your anniversary is?
July 14th.
That's my husband's birthday.
Really?
July 14th
I
is my
knew we were
husband's
going to
birthday.
get down to something like that.
1962. My husband was born July 14th, 1962.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's just a couple of years older than my kid. Did he go to school in True County?
No, ma'am. My husband's from Washington State in California. Well, he was actually born in California. Stephen was born in Bakersfield, but he's lived in Washington a great deal of his life, in Oregon. But he grew up in California.
I bet he was stationed at Fort Campbell or something.
No, ma'am. Thank you for your interest, but we don't. I'm sorry to say we're just civilians. We don't have the honor and the blessing of being associated with the military.
Well, I just thought, she's bound to be connected with a veterans
My
association.
dad. So my husband is not a veteran, but my dad is buried in the Kentucky Veterans Cemetery West in Hopkinsville.
I see.
And he was. He never saw war. My dad never saw war duty, but he served during the Vietnam era.
I see.
And in fact, when he died 11 years ago, that was the very first time that I had ever been to a military funeral. Mm-hmm. And so he was out of the service before he met my mom. And so I didn't grow up like I think they call it a military brat.
Right.
Is that the terminology,
Right,
military
yeah.
brat? And I never have understood that, why they call them brats. I never have understood that.
Yeah.
My dad went to school on the GI Bill. He just did, gosh, I don't know how many years he did. It was less, I think he did 4 or 5. And then he went to school, he went to college on the GI Bill in Birmingham, Alabama. And that's how he met my mom in Birmingham, Alabama. They were at the same college together. And so I was born in Birmingham, Alabama.
Well, you've got quite a story there. But I think it's so nice that you're taking such an interest in this community. That's really says a lot about her, doesn't it?
Well, I appreciate that. I've lived in Cerulean for 21 years, and we've been married for 22 years, and so we had just been married a whole year, 1 year, newlywed, when we moved to Cerulean. So we're definitely transplants to True County. So.
Now, where is it y'all live? Seems like Marty has told me about you.
Do you know where Roselle Burgess?
That's what she told me. Yeah.
And where Wilmuth and Cecil Hendricks' house was, there was Roselle's house, and then Wilmuth and Cecil, and then I'm right next to that.
She has mentioned you to me, but it's so nice to meet you.
Well, it's very nice to meet you too. I can't tell you, Miss Rita, how many times as and again I'm telling on myself because this cold weather, I'm not one for walking in cold weather. I'm just not. But when I walk about when I do walk, I do about 16 or 20 laps at a time. And so when I come up here, I always as I'm walking along this path, I always use this as a focal point. I always use this beautiful picture as a focal point.
Well, I'll declare. Bless your heart. We appreciate your interest.
Yes, ma'am.